Broads Media.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Broads for a 2-0 game and really a 1-0 game until the bottom of the 8th inning. I sure as hell have a lot to talk about. First things first, really good start to this homestand. Really good start to this series that I called, yo, bury the Braves. Bury them. Kick their ass. Destroy them. That's why I was kind of weirdly happy they lost Sunday night or Sunday evening, Sunday late afternoon against the Ace, because then there's a nice break with all the winning so we can reset and bury the Braves. And of course, shutout, by the way, when Coach Gee's on the bump. Coach Gee Gaudreau throwing out the opening first pitch with Howie Roseman. What a combo. Talk about goats. Talk about foreshadowing. Talk about winning baseball games. My God. All right, so let's start with the obvious. The painful viewing experience of watching Bryce Harper get drilled in the right elbow by Spencer Strider. Should they have retaliated? The emotional side of me, which sometimes is a bit extreme, said, go fucking drill Acuna! Go fucking drill anybody! Go fucking drill the next guy up, I don't care. But the emotionless side of me said, we got a baseball game to win. Did you see the importance of Ranger tonight? Even getting after it in the 6th after getting Matt Olson, whoo, inside pitch, whoo, nice and high in the zone, whoo. Worked out of that jam, had a couple of walks. Doesn't matter. 6th inning, man. I thought maybe it was time to wrap it up and go to the pen in the 5th. Credit to Rob. And credit to Kirkering. Credit to Strom. Max Kepler with this defense out in left field. And, of course, Romano. Maybe there was something disgusting going on with that bump when they were playing in the Sacramento field. Because you remove that one hiccup, and it's been strong. It's been just attack mode and easy. But with Bryce, they say the x-rays were negative, which is fantastic. Watching how much he was hurting and how much he was in discomfort and that facial expression, the automatic drop, the one knee, and then him instantly leaving the game. The face. Oh, the face. Oh! I hate that I'm reliving it in my mind. I hate that I'm rewatching it a million times in my head. But I can't stop. Even if the x-rays are negative, could be a long time. And based off of his reaction, I would not be surprised if it was a long time. Here's what Rob Thompson had to say post-game in his media availability.
I guess the obvious question is, how's Bryce? Any long-term concern or short-term, even about tomorrow?
I don't know. We'll have to reevaluate in the morning, but the x-rays were negative, and he's certainly in a lot of pain. So whenever you're one of your top hitters or your best hitter gets hit like that, there's always some concern, but he's a tough guy too.
You didn't think there was any intent there?
No.
When you got out there, he's on the ground and he's cradling his arm. Kind of what are you thinking the worst there?
Yeah, I mean, you're always concerned, the little crack in the bone or whatever. So the x-ray, thankfully, was negative. But, we'll just have to see tomorrow.
Rob, you obviously have a game.
Until otherwise, I'm in the mindset of, I'd imagine that you need more than just ice on it for a day. We're going to be without Bryce for a bit of time. How long? Well, that will wait with more information. But it doesn't look short to me. That was an absolute rocket drilled right into that elbow. And Spencer Strider post-game, some people are grabbing onto his remarks. He said something like he feels horrible. He's not a psychopath or whatever he said. He said something along those lines, and then sociopath maybe. Whatever. They're all the same paths to me. You still got a job to do. And that pissed people off that he mentioned how he still has to go out there and pitch. I heard the full quote. It wasn't that brutal. He's just saying when you feel horrible and when you feel bad and when you see that you cause damage to one of the best hitters in all of the sport, and the sport is in a better place when he's available, and it makes us better as competitors when we have to face someone like Bryce Harper. As brutal as that feeling is, knowing you're the one that caused it, you still have to pitch. You're still in the game. To me, I'm not really wasting time on his remarks. I'm worried about the health of Bryce. Should they have retaliated? I wouldn't have been angry if they did. So I'm proud that they are handling this a little bit more professionally than I would have. It seems like that is a message from Rob Thompson to, hey, forget about going after that. Now, maybe the next couple of days, if a game gets out of hand and you're getting blown out, maybe Rob Thompson feels obligated to do it. But at the same time, as old school as Rob is, there's a part of me that feels he's under the impression of, let's focus on winning baseball games. You know how we make the Braves pay? By them watching us win a division. By them watching us get to the NLCS. By them watching us win a World Series. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, old school people would probably want us to go after Ronald Acuna, who just came back, by the way. But, you know what? We'd rather Ronald Acuna Jr. be in the game and us shut him out. And us win 2-0. Now, that's mature of them. And I can be wrong. Maybe game 2, maybe game 3, we see something different. There is still time to get your side of it done. There is still plenty of innings and plenty of pitches, and if it's a slop game, but at that point, maybe it makes it look even worse. But why would you do it in a game that is competitive and a one-run game in the middle of it? That wouldn't make sense either. You're trying to win. You're trying to bury the Braves. You're trying to get a nice lead in the division and run away with it. I hate that way of thinking, though. I want to take somebody out. You just took out our star. You took out our guy, our face, number 3. You could feel the entire Citizens Bank Park all have a weird vibe after that. Stale, awkwardness. Sure, you can hear the typical mumbles that go on throughout a baseball broadcast, but you could tell the energy shifted so negatively because of it. Are we supposed to just accept that? Are we supposed to say cool? Or do we put on our professional hats and ask Ranger to go 6th? And stick it to him where it hurts, truly, with a loss. That's the way it seems to me Rob wants this squad to focus. And is that a bad thing? If you remove the, yeah, let's go, kill him! If you remove that, don't we want a group that cares more about internally what you can control and how you have a vision and how you have a goal? And how you want to target something special this season, and we can't lose sight of that, so we can't get moved off of our path and do something that's not us. We can't allow the other team to dictate the way we're going to do things. We're going to do things the way we are going to do things, and we believe this is going to help us win a championship. Keep the main thing. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but keep the main thing the main thing. Now, I'm just speaking as if I'm one of them. I'm speaking as if I am Topper. I'm speaking as if I am part of the Phillies organization. That's what I think they feel. But maybe I'm proven wrong. And I wouldn't even be mad if I was proven wrong. Because the other element is, I know baseball isn't hockey, But there's something about the way, if you do pay attention to where the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are right now, the way Florida plays, Brad Marchand and Sam Bennett, they play with piss and vinegar. And you know, now it's a physical game, but you know if you're going in the corner with one of their guys forechecking, you're going to get hit. And you're going to pay the price. And they're going to make you earn every fucking inch. And it's going to be painful. There is a part of me that knows that edge. If the Phillies would have responded within a second, then they play with these stones. Then they play with this personality that I think a lot of these fans and a lot of the fan base would support even more. But maybe that's stupid. Maybe that's irrational. Maybe that's emotional. Maybe that separates us from them. But if they were to go that route, it shows this mean personality. Maybe they didn't want to get in the way of Ranger. But Ranger wasn't even balling. It was sort of a grind and a respectful sixth when I thought it was over. And credit to Rob, because something else that we need to get to here is the Ranger stuff. Really, my second and third point somewhat align, but Rob Thompson appreciation, as much as I've despised Trey Turner, if you missed it, I did say I'm turning around on him a little bit, all right, a little bit. You should check out that episode. It was a show that I did on WIP, but I did post it right here on Broads Media as well. But there are people who hate Rob Thompson the same way that I have feelings towards Trey Turner. And I never understood that. Now, there are definitely things to criticize. There are things that maybe aren't necessarily perfect. Yes, when the team plays lackadaisical, we think that focuses on the style that Rob Thompson leads with at times. So I get it. I do. He's not perfect, but I always lean towards he's a good manager. It was just always, was he the right manager personality-wise? But everyone would say, yeah, because you have so many veterans and he allows the locker room to police itself and the clubhouse to create its own leadership, but he also leads from a distance as well, and he's that perfect blend and perfect marriage. But there are times where we do go through pockets where it is fair to wonder if this is the right puzzle piece from a managerial level. Not that he's bad, it's just you got to have everything aligned perfectly to go all the way. And there are areas to wonder with Rob, but he is a good manager. I always thought he was a good manager. Him giving Ranger that 6 is good managing. Moving JT Realmuto down, look at how it all aligned. And the reason why that's important is that 8th inning where they got the insurance run, not only was it discipline from JT, but it starts off with Bohm actually creating the rally. And if you did not have Bohm get slotted up in the lineup and JT moved down, maybe you're not even in that position to begin with to get that extra run. Now, you won the game by keeping the Braves off the board anyway, but who knows? Everyone could feel the shift when you got that second run compared to if it was 1-0. Maybe you still would have won anyway because Romano has been in his bag outside of the mound problem the last series. So you maybe still would have won as it is, but that second felt sweet. I was a little bummed that we couldn't have added more. I needed more. As great as the discipline was, as great as the walk was, JT really working in that bat. Kepler also walked in that inning as well. Nicky Castellanos helped out too. So just a full team effort. But Rob putting the lineup together the way he did is what got that 8th inning rolling. I can't lose sight of that. With Ranger, as I'm bouncing around here, now it's, all right, how do you put him in the bullpen? Because we need to clearly improve the bullpen. Ranger's been a big target for a lot of us in town. And here's the truth. I picked Ranger because I thought Ranger was the best and nastiest. And he did it before. So I trust Ranger. That's why I picked him. Yeah, if he's giving me 6 shutty against a lineup like this, then he could stay in. All I'm trying to really communicate with you all and say is you have options internally. If it's Sanchez with the deadly changeup, maybe that's a route you go. I'm sure some people are screaming right now saying, why? Aaron Nola can't be in the rotation. He's got to be the one to dance and do something different. But I don't think his stuff plays, so maybe Sanchez is a better option. I don't care how. Just make sure you internally fill this bullpen up so there's no more Jose Ruizes, there's no more Joe Rosses, there's no more Carlos Hernandezes. Right now, it is clearly the Romano, Strahm, and Kerkering show, but find Mick Abel, find Sanchez, find other options. If it's Ranger that stays in the rotation, I don't care. My big point is there are things that you can do internally on top of looking at other rosters at the deadline, on top of seeing if you can get some more veteran savvy help in your pen, so you can do many different things. Don't care who it is. Just do it. I don't even care if it ends up being Nola. I just don't think that's the best case. Someone brought up a hypothetical on the air a few days ago, and they were trying to sell the idea of Nola in the pen, and it just looked and sounded horrendous, in my personal opinion. But he said, wouldn't it be great to have Aaron Nola with that knuckle curve if it's an 8th inning and there's traffic on bases and there's 2 outs and he's on the mound and he comes in? He said something along the lines of, and I almost vomited on the air, that the manager of the other team would like not know what to do and almost wave the white flag because they'd be so scared of Aaron Nola. And I said, let me get this straight. I remember saying this specifically. Let me get this straight. Aaron Nola is so deadly that the other team's manager is afraid of him to the point where they'd wave the white flag and not even want a chance against a guy who allows 1 billion homers from a guy who is allowing the long ball at the highest clip. Okay? Let's wave the white flag. He's that lethal and that elite, yet he's so bad you're trying to get him out of the rotation. It doesn't even make sense. But Nola doesn't smell, and when I sniff it, it doesn't smell bullpen material. That's not what his stuff relates to. Maybe the deadly changeup could be something you can hold your hat on with a deadly pitch from Sanchez. But this Aaron Nola stuff, you heard Rob Thompson before the game, or was that after the A's game? I forget when he spoke last about Aaron Nola specifically, but it was over the last 24 hours or so. And this thing is rough. This thing is rough. And this is coming from a guy, Aaron Nola, who does not miss time. So if this is lingering, and if this is taking a bit, and if he doesn't feel right, and a bullpen session gets pushed back, and now you have to change your schedule and your routine, and you're not getting back as quickly as you want, this is coming from someone who doesn't know how to take time off. This is coming from someone who does so much to put his body in place so he never has to worry about this. You think he's just pretending because he's got a mental hurdle? You really think he's just messing around and trying to buy time before some sort of AAA stint for a rehab assignment just for confidence? I mean, that is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I think he's really going through something that's probably way worse than it was led on to believe. And because he's such a warrior and because he didn't want to go to the IL, he probably knew the IL was the right move. But he wanted to power through. He wanted to push through. He wanted to get out there because that's what he is known to do. And then, after that Arizona start and the Chicago start, it fell apart because this ankle started to pop up around Cleveland. So, yeah, I mean, it all makes sense now that Aaron Nola was pitching so poorly. It all made sense now that Aaron Nola wasn't doing his thing post-Arizona series. He had the quality start against the Dodgers. He had a really good start in Wrigley, 7 1-earned run, 6 shutty against Arizona. Then the Cleveland thing happened. So, yeah, it was a little ugly in the beginning prior to an ankle, but I think that was just preseason rust, if you will. Look at the way the team's clicking now. I'm starting to believe in Kerkering, by the way, as the 7th guy. It's not where I need it to be yet, but I'm seeing development as they go on. Look, it's clear that they are showing me something. Trey, I'm starting to buy more into. Kerkering, I was guarded, and I still am guarded. And there's nothing wrong with being guarded when you think of the most recent issue or multiple issues throughout the postseason. So guarded is okay, but I'm starting to let my guard down day by day. That's important to me. It should be important to you when it comes to how we discuss these games, but I'm proud of them. I'm also learning a bit about who Max Kepler is. Because Max Kepler had the RBI, and he had the catch when Strahm was out there in the 8th. And you know what it reminds me of? Okay, this may sound crazy, but it's not to the same extreme. Just so you can almost have a picture painted. When Bryce Harper, outside of this season, because it really hasn't had that flow to it, and now, who the hell knows what's about to happen. But Bryce normally goes on a stretch where he hits like 420. It is a crazy month. He is like red hot. But then there may be a month where there's no power. He's hitting 228, 232, something like that. Limited power. He's in a funk. But when he's hot, it's crazy. Max Kepler is a mini-me version of that. Max Kepler is a 2.0 version of that. It's Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. Bryce is Dr. Evil, and Mini-Me is like, he'll do it in 2 or 3 game spurts. So for 2 or 3 games, it's holy shit, look at those nukes to right field. And then there's probably 5 or 6 games where the Kepler thing goes quiet. And then boom, there's 2 or 3 games in a row where he's making an impact. And then, all right, there's a little bit of quiet. And then bang. So when he does things, I feel them. And I think they come in waves and they feel very impactful. But then you get the quiet time of a couple of games. Because, you know, if he was doing that consistently, he'd be a superstar. Max Kepler's not a superstar. He's fine. I always said he's a guy, right? He can hang around. He's Major League Baseball quality. It's just, well, if he did what he does consistently 24/7, he'd be Ronald Acuna Jr. He'd be Mike Trout. He'd be Shohei at the dish. He'd be all these top premier hitters. He's not. He's a starting left fielder who's doing fine, as I mentioned all throughout the breaking down of the roster when Dave Dombrowski made these moves. But I think it's a mini-me. You can call me crazy, but one thing you can't call me is stupid, because I take care of my lawn. And it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. And I am so intelligent, I went to the experts at Green Lawn Fertilizing, and it was the best decision I've ever made. You should see the way my lawn has progressed through the first 3-4 treatments. Oh my gosh. It's so sexy. It's so luscious. It's the best green lawn. And there's still some more treatments to go. But the fact that I'm here and I'm still this much in love, knowing that it's only going to get more beautiful, is almost keeping me up at night. The Green Lawn Fertilizing is based in the Philadelphia area and the best in this market. They are experts in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. They've created their own custom blend to help your lawn recover. I just never paid attention when I first became a homeowner, and shame on me. And the first round is so important to get started, so much so that Green Lawn Fertilizing is giving you 50% off your first 2 treatments. That's 50% off your first 2 treatments. It's a no-brainer. Make sure you check the link out down below in the description. And when you sign up through that link, it'll tell them that Brode sent you, and you will get the 50% off your first 2 treatments applied to you signing up through the link. It's a no-brainer. Make sure you check it out. Okay, with that, why don't we go to the Anytime Hotline? Right? Hear from the people, the reaction from the big game. Look, it's very fun to see a game that mattered. Not that the games over the weekend didn't matter, but there was definitely juice lacking versus Colorado and juice lacking against Pittsburgh at times. You know, this is a series where, yeah, sure, there's NBA playoffs on, but NBA playoffs wasn't getting priority. NBA playoffs had second TV. Yup. Now, both had volume. Sometimes they go mute, and then one has the main volume, which is the bigger TV. But I did go both volume. I was paying attention to both. But in Colorado, guess what was going on the second TV on mute? It's 15-1. It's the 7th inning, and the Rockies suck. Yeah, Pacers-Knicks. Getting TV, full blast, sound bar, lights off. Maybe going outside, getting a nice little rip, a nice little how do you do, smoke something green, enjoy the game. Oh, what are the Phillies doing? Oh, they're up 93-6 now. Okay. That wasn't the case here. This game mattered. It had importance. Bury the Braves. It's what it's been about. All right, let's go to the phones.
Yo, what's up, Brodes? Just finished up watching the Phillies game here. You know, I think it was a really good win for them. You know, the bats weren't as hot as I would have hoped for. But, you know, the pitching, even though, I mean, we were definitely on the edge of our seats some of those innings, the Braves definitely had some opportunities when it really came down to it. All the pitchers today made the pitches when they need to. You know, Ranger did really good. The bullpen, you know, they had a really good 3 innings. You know, Romano coming in to close it, he was really, really impressive tonight. So, you know, it was definitely happy to hear about the Bryce Harper news that the injury wasn't too serious. It looked pretty bad, so that definitely pissed me off when Strider drills him 96 first inning. But that had me hot a little bit, bros. But you know what? It's okay. We got the win. That's what's most important. And, you know, let's get back after it tomorrow with Zach Wheeler on the bump. Thanks, bros.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thank you for calling in. See, I don't know if it's not serious just because the x-rays came back negative. I think it could still be serious. And the last thing I ever like to do, ever, is myself discuss injuries I have and apply it to Bryce Harper. But just in general, I've seen bone bruises throughout professional sports last longer than you would like. Sometimes, you know, you hear bone bruise and you go, I'm just using that as an example. It's a bruise, not that bad. I mean, dude, I couldn't even fit my foot in my skate for a good 4 months with this bone bruise. It was so bad. Couldn't put any pressure on. Bone bruises suck. And it doesn't sound harsh. You go get x-rays. Hey, your foot's not broken. Oh, good. It's just a bone bruise. The point is, it's not about me and applying it to Bryce. All right, make sure that's very clear. It's saying that it could sound not bad and it could be way worse, but it could still be serious and still be something that keeps Bryce Harper out for a long time. He's a warrior. He's going to do anything to get back. This dude played where he had ligaments all torn in his hands and or his forearms and whatnot, and he still was awesome. So I can't rule anything out when someone's superhuman, when someone's not real, when someone's a cyborg, and Bryce falls in that category. But I watched him. I saw him fall to the ground, and I thought to myself, this is brutal. I don't know how you can just wake up and play baseball at any point over the next 7 days after you take a pitch like that right to the elbow. I mean, that was gruesome. My wife and I, we were sitting in the playroom at Brooklyn, who was having her late night snack, a little late night milk before she goes to bed. She's sitting there chilling. She's drinking it herself. She's got a book in front of her. It's the cutest thing in the world. And I got the game on with all the lights off, but the game on, right? And my wife goes, oh! My wife doesn't go, to a baseball game. She thinks baseball is boring. She likes going to CBP, but watching on TV every single night, 9 innings, not her thing, and that's okay. To each their own. She doesn't react like that. She reacted. So that already made my meter go off. Like, oh, Kara's reacting. Oh, Jesus, something. No. It's not good. Yeah, I would like the offense to get going too, obviously, when it's 1-0 throughout the entire game. But I guess I'll leave you with this. The fact that you could win that high-pressured game with your bullpen having a label of shaky on it, and it should have that label, but, you know, that's a talking point, right? And it's a 1-0 game. It becomes 2-0. You got that nice added sweetener. Are you going to take control of that, or are you going to fail? Are you going to flop? Are you going to do nothing with it? And they took absolute advantage of it to give them just extra breathing room. And the fact that the offense didn't get going, well, some may look at that as a negative against a Spencer Strider who's just returning. And then they did have chances there to do more damage for sure. The discipline at the plate in the 8th mattered. There's probably plenty of other years where JT goes fishing. JT tries to do too much. JT swings at pitches that are balls, and instead of a walk before an extra run, it's a strikeout. Now it's 1-0 still, and who knows? But I look at it as a positive. The fact that you could win that game that way with Kerkering, with Strom, with Romano, as easy as it was after Ranger gets that 6th inning. I like the fact that you could win that greasy, grinded out game, that pitching duel game, that stud, let me buy into my strengths of my starter type of win. Because that's what they did. They asked for an extra inning at a Ranger. They dug deep into that Ranger thing, and I think they're leaning on a strength. They're leaning on the way Luzardo gets beat up in the first inning, albeit maybe not the best defense out in left field at that particular time, but then he goes 7 and gets pushed to the 7th, and look at his pitch count, and we've seen guys go 100 plus, and we've seen guys get asked to do a little more, and maybe we're starting to learn again about Rob and the way that he's managing this team and the way that he's attacking with the mentality and the belief and the buy-in to their strength, and it benefited you big time today. Ranger getting that 6th was a massive decision and a massive help. And as soon as the first hit happened, too, I mean, you go, oh, wow. First hit. Might have been first pitch, right? To the left side there. Single. Good for you, Ranger. Good for you, Topper. Bryce. I'll send all my best wishes I can tonight when my head hits my pillow. Thank you guys all so much. I love you. Go Phils. Can't wait to see what transpires tomorrow.